What's up, internet world? We're back. It is the We Trying Dudes, the struggle channel of the internet. Literally. So we just got finished doing the Game Awards. We streamed it. Check it out. Shameful plug. So I was explaining why our stream was not up to par, and somebody was like, "We trying." I was like, "See, you get it."
Hmm.
I'm Leroy. That's Michael. Um, I talked about the fact of we just did the game. We just had the video game awards. Elden Ring won Game of the Year, and it got me thinking. It was a conversation
Man,
me and
don't tell
Michael.
me I ain't see it.
Elden Ring won Game of the Year.
I guess I know now.
I mean, you were gonna know. You opened the internet.
I wasn't gonna. I'm good at not knowing stuff off the internet, sir. I don't. I'm good.
I doubt that you would have missed this. That you would miss this one. But anyway,
Okay.
um, so it got us thinking, and we were talking about instead of arguing over like what's the best game, we're still
Chrono
in.
Trigger.
That's see, this is why I didn't want to do the best game,
Oh, okay.
um, because this is the thing. What's best for you may not be best for me, and then
Sure.
certain games hit you at the right time. So um, I thought about let's talk about what games have you enjoyed in the last couple of years? Like, what got you through the pandemic? What have you been playing that was just fun? Doesn't have to be the best game because perfect example. Just to kick things off, here's an honorable mention. That's Days Gone. I
Hmm.
did not pay more than $20 for this game. I have played and beat this game over 3 times. I love this game. This game is fun.
Man, how
Yeah,
long is the game? Is it a
it's
long game?
it's not a long game.
I
I
mean, I,
mean,
I guess at this point you know what you're doing. So
yeah, I mean, it's like it's not a long game. I play it just because I like riding on a motorcycle and I love the mechanics of the game. I hate some of the characters in it. Sam Whitner is amazing in it as Deacon St. John. I think the character who plays Schizo is terrible, and I want to smash his face with a rock, like in biblical
like, comment,
times.
subscribe. Yeah, right.
Yeah, hit that like, comment, and subscribe. I want to beat him to like his character is terrible, but I love the game
Hmm.
and I enjoy it. So, that's what kicked us off. So, what's an honorable mention for you? Like, it didn't have to have come out, but a game you've played over and over again that you keep coming back to. It ain't winning no awards. You bought it. You might have bought it full price. You might have bought it cheap. But what has been like a game that you're like, you know what? I just love fucking playing this game.
Oh man, you had to come back to me. I wasn't prepared for that. I was just told to have 3 games.
I mean, you can
I
start
didn't,
with
I
your
didn't
first
have an
game.
honorable mention. Nope, and I gotta have an honorable mention. You be
I
changing the
mean,
rules.
no, I'm not changing the rules. I'm just saying, I'm saying like I kicked off with an honorable mention. You can start with your games, or you can do an honorable mention. It doesn't matter. I wanted to
Um,
know because you play so many varied games, so on so many different platforms.
I'll give you an honorable mention, and this is one that didn't come out during the pandemic, but it's one that I played a lot.
Or
Civilization Six.
damn, I thought you were gonna say Ori Will of the Wisp.
That might have did that come out during the pandemic?
Well, the last one did.
Yeah, that's Will of the Wisp.
Yeah, the sequel. Yeah, that came out during the pandemic. I would thought you were gonna say the first one.
No. Um, yeah,
Okay,
Civilization Six. It is
when did that come
a
out?
oh gosh, let's do some googling here. Civ Six by the Thoraxis team,
It's
who
called
most
Civ
recently
Six.
did
So they call
Civ
it
Civ
Civ.
Six Civilization Six. Yeah, Civ Six. Most people call it that. It's done by is it Firaxis?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Firaxis
Firaxis.
2016. Man, all you got to do is just
2016.
type in Civ 6. It shows up. Literally.
Yeah, no, I just did that.
I know, but your internet is slow. It took you too long. I had to look it up for you. Sorry, I
You didn't
got you.
have to. Um, so yeah,
Go ahead.
Civ Six. It's
Hmm.
a four by strategy game. Four by strategies are like kind of where you have to run your own. In this case, civilization. Whether you're building up the economy, building up whatever. To me, I find it very relaxing in this
Okay.
idea of building a civilization from the ground up to the
Kind of like God.
future age. Kinda,
Is it
but
like you're a God?
it's not a god game
Okay.
like a Sim City
Okay.
more because the one thing I really like about it is there are so many different ways and so many different victory conditions in it. You don't just have to win militarily. You can have a military victory where you beat every other civilization into destruction, and nuke them to death. You can do that, but you could be more civilized, and you
Go
can win
on.
by you can win by diplomacy. You can win by having the largest cultural impact in the game. You could win by
Hmm.
so many different ways. You can win. You can win through religion, which is you can make religion a weapon. It's a very fun game.
I mean,
Um,
religion is a weapon.
yeah, but not a lot of games necessarily say that. This one actually
Ah,
kind of
okay.
is whatever. But it's um it's a it's a slow paced game. It's it's turn based. It's not real time strategy. So you take a turn, next person takes a turn, next person takes a turn, whatever. But
Okay.
it's kind of I almost liken it to, and it's not the same effect. And if we do another honorable mention, I might mention this, but it's not it kind of like a Tetris style thing where you kind of get into a Zen mode where you're like, okay, this is coming next. There's kind of a pattern to how the game plays, and it's very therapeutic for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's not what I would have thought you would have said. Cool. But that's why I kind of wanted to have this conversation because it seems like a lot of people have, and I think I don't know if it's the nature of the internet and fandom, but it seems like we're always arguing about what the best of is or what is, like we have these awards, and one of the things I want to say, it might have been. Um, when I was watching the video game awards, it was one of the commenters was Renee, and he sorry, the person was saying they were saying they asked me about what happened in Germany, and because we were news hounds and newsheads, they asked me about it, and I said, you know what, I did. I was off the day, and I said it was in shows probably, but I said it's sad that here we have. I said I'm quite sure that they use exactly what we're using, social media, to spread negative and not positive, not love, but terrible ideas. And I said, we didn't want our channel to be that. We wanted to be something different. We wanted not to, that we were all positive and love and Care Bears and stuff, but we wanted to be like, hey, if it's not for you, don't shit on it because it could be for somebody else. And
Hmm.
it was one of those things where I was like, I like the video game awards, even though I never get stuff right as far as like this should win or this should win. I never get it right, but it's nice to see people who worked hard on something celebrated for their achievement.
Sure.
And and this is what it kind of like not necessarily the video game awards, but it's like let's recognize some games that we just enjoyed playing, you know, that we just had fun playing or something that hit you at the right time. So one of my first games that I'm gonna kick off with that I picked up was it's not my last game, but it is my first game. Um,
Wait. So when you say that, you mean are these are in no particular order? These are
The,
just
no,
games.
no, they're not in particular order except for the last one. The last one is
Okay.
the coup de grace. This
Gotcha.
Ghost of Tsushima. I remember when this dropped, the trailer first dropped, and I was like, huh. It wasn't on my radar. I remember me and you talked about it. You were more excited about this than I was.
And I still haven't played it yet, but I did get the PS5 version
Okay.
last year. I think it's part of Black Friday because it's been out for a while
Mhm.
now, right?
It has
Yeah, I
been.
think I got it for a Black Friday deal last year.
But I wasn't. It wasn't on my radar. It was one of those games where I was like, huh, Sucker Punch. Okay, I'll give it a shot. Um, I was like,
Sucker Punch gave us Sly Cooper, and they gave us Infamous.
mhm. And I was just like, we'll see. And it was Black Friday. I got a bunch of games, some for Christmas, some for self purchase, and I popped it in. And as it starts like it just boom, you're at war, yada yada yada, and then you have to like basically rebuild the rebellion to repel invaders. And as you're playing the game, there's these side missions that if you decide to to follow these side quests, people will help you in your endeavors. And then there was just times you would just follow this fox and do freaking haikus, and it was just there were times it was peaceful and it was just beautiful. Um I like
Did you feel like it transported you to that world?
It did, but it
Mm.
also it also made me care about the characters, and I had a good time, and there were some heartbreaking moments. Don't get me wrong, the game, it's about war, so you fuck some people up in this game, and people really die, but it really spoke to me that some of the side characters and some of the side things that you did for me had such an impact that I felt like, oh man, there's this woman that you helped. She was part of the, I would say elite. She had some money, and you need her help. And the things that she goes through, you feel for her.
Hmm.
And I just really enjoyed the game, and I really enjoyed the characters, and I had a great time playing it. I will get the game of the PS5, whatever director's cut of it. Um, this
Curious
game,
question for
go
you.
ahead.
So that
Mhm.
game in particular, is it a game that you really enjoyed it? Is it a game that you tried to rush through for the story, or
No,
were you
nope.
like more deliberate to like I'm willing to play this amount of time, take some
Hmm.
time off, and then come
Yep.
back? Okay.
Yep. I was. I really was deliberate. There were times that I did not follow the main story. I went and did side quests. I did everything in the game, with the exception of like two things.
Is that
Um,
something you normally do in an open world game, or it depends on the
depends.
game?
It depends on the game, because sometimes I'm a big person when it comes to some of these Assassin's Creed games where I just didn't finish, and I was just like, I'm out. I'm not
It's too
coming
much.
back.
It's too
Get
much to
like,
do. Yeah.
and I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game since Odyssey. Um,
Okay.
I finished Origins. It took me a
Oh
while
well,
to finish
you're not
Origins.
that you're only behind on one.
Yeah, but there were other games that I just didn't play. Like I never finished Black Flag. Um,
Black Flag was great.
it was, and I just rolled the seas, buddy.
All right.
I
Fair
enjoyed
enough.
being a pirate.
Okay. Yeah, that was fun.
I did play the DLC. The black guy.
Yeah,
The was it he was Haitian, right?
I believe
I'm
so.
trying to remember his name, but I played the DLC.
He
I
was he
enjoyed
was
it.
video game Django out there just
Yes.
killing plantation owners.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
he he wasn't doing that.
No.
You weren't taking out plantation owners in that game.
I can't hear you. You're breaking up. You got little
Okay,
orange
sure,
things next to your
sure, whatever.
that game came at the right time.
Yeah.
But you're right. You bring up a good point. I was deliberate in playing the game and not rushing through it and finishing it, and going with the story, learning the characters, and I really did. So at the end, when you get to the end of the game and you finish it and you come to this choice, I don't know if I made the right choice
Hmm,
at the end of it. And it was one of those things where I was like, did I do the right? Like, I think I did the right and honorable thing, but maybe I didn't.
interesting.
And it was like one of the characters, when you come to this choice, said some fucked up things to me, and I was like, "Hey, man, do you not just see what I just did?" Like, I took it
Hmm.
personal. So yeah, Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know if you remember, but a some the island had some issues, but because of this game, gamers came together and donated to fix some of the things on the island. Like,
Okay.
that was just like mind blowing. Like, that people enjoyed this game, and I know that there's some comments about like, well, the ninjas, the time period and all this other stuff. It's not true to, but I didn't care. I enjoyed it. I loved it.
Mhm.
So that for me, Ghost of Tsushima was one of them. It really helped me.
Okay. We can stick with the open world motif here. A game that I really liked. It's pretty recent. Came out February of this year. Was Horizon Forbidden West.
Okay,
Um, I don't have cool props like Leroy because they're all upstairs and I'm not going to get them. But
this one.
Horizon Forbidden West. Um, it's a sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon whatever that DLC was, the Frozen
Yeah,
Wilds or something. I think
yeah.
like that,
I thought
where
I
you
had
fight
it
a
over
bunch of
here. Yeah.
mechanical bears. But
Hmm. Man, them bears were hard.
they were hard.
Them bears will
And
mess
they
you
ain't no
up.
joke in the sequel either.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
you get more tools to fight them, but it's definitely like, man, these bears are
Them
annoying.
them bears and what else was in the Frozen Wilds? It was another new beast.
I just remember the bear. I don't know.
There was another new beast that wasn't easy. It was basically
Oh.
Wu Tang Clan. It ain't nothing to fuck with.
So you have the story of Aloy,
Hmm.
played incredibly by Ashley Birch.
Yep.
Um, Ashley Birch is a very
Amazing.
amazing. She just seems like I don't know her personally. She's like a very cool person.
Hmm.
Um, just a little bit of backstory on her. She kind of started a YouTube channel with her brother.
Hmm.
called I think it was like "What's Up, Ash" or "Ash, What You Playing," something like that. And it
Hmm.
was like these little shorts where they would play these different video games and stuff. She had her own online persona, whatever, but she like turned that career, that YouTube thing, into being a full-on voice actress and stuff. And she's also an actor as well. She's
Hmm.
in Mythic Quest. I think she might be a
I
writer
love her
for
in
Mythic
Mythic
Quest as well.
Quest. I
Yeah,
need to go back and watch and finish Mythic Quest. I'm sorry, I haven't, but I
but
enjoyed it.
but
She's the
when
new
the
voice of
first game,
Bayonetta, correct?
no,
It's not Ashley Birch. I thought it was Ashley.
no,
She took. I
it's
thought she
Jennifer
took.
Hale.
Oh, sorry. Okay,
I'm
my
pretty
bad.
sure it's Jennifer Hale. Let me check that out.
Yeah,
It's not Ashley Birch. You're just saying white ladies' names.
I thought it was. I remember seeing her.
And to be fair, Ashley Birch isn't white. She is Asian, but I don't know specifically. Let's see. Jennifer
I have her
Hale.
pushed up. Okay.
Yeah, because the first actress was Helena Taylor
Yes.
in Bayonetta 1 and 2. And then
Yes.
she had a falling out with
Hmm.
Platinum and all that stuff, and then Jennifer Hale took over. But going back to when we talk about negativity, we talk about positivity. Ashley Birch in the first Horizon Forbidden West really brought this like a sense of wonder and vulnerability to Aloy, and a sense of an independent streak. And
Yep.
she
That's what
was
I loved about her.
essentially, yeah,
That's what I
she
loved about
really
her.
did this thing where, which it could be read one way or another, but she was pretty much always right about stuff and nobody wanted to believe her, but she didn't let that bother her at all. And
It
she's like, yo,
wasn't.
I'm going to get this story done.
It wasn't just that, but it was also her independence in the face of tradition.
Sure.
Because here, because in the game you play with so many different tribal aspects and people set in their ways and traditions, and it really was kind of like a an indictment on today's culture that here is somebody who tradition did nothing to help her. It's like, and then she could have been angry about it.
Hmm.
And don't get me wrong, she was tough as nails, but she didn't let it stop her from helping people,
Hmm.
even people who did her wrong. And
Sure.
that's what I loved about her. I loved about the fact that that Aloy was independent, but she also didn't take no shit. And she also called truth to power. And
Yeah.
also, and that's what I loved about her, because a lot of times we get a lot of these heroes who uphold the status quo or who go along to get along. And that was not Aloy.
Yeah. Ayla was definitely a rebel and, kind of breaking the status quo. So I'm not really going to spoil anything from the first one or the DLC or even the second one. But so that's
Mhm.
in the first one. We get this new character, and the company that makes it, Gorilla. Before that, they were known for kill zones, and
Love me some kill
the kill
zones.
zone, huh?
Love me some kill zones.
Yeah, kill zones were, first person shooter, and they really pushed the graphic envelope at the time. Whenever a new one came out, they were like, "Oh man, this looks really good." You
Mhm.
guys may remember they had that one kill zone shot when we got like the bull shot type thing, because they were like, "Oh, this doesn't live up to what it was." All that story aside, Horizon comes out, people are like, "Oh, this is a new franchise for Sony." So we get the sequel this year,
Mhm.
and it really builds on everything that the first one did. It looks beautiful. If you have a really nice TV, like an OLED TV with deep blacks and like vibrant HDR colors, it looks incredible. It
Mhm.
is a gorgeous looking game. Um, there's so much to do in it. I think I've done everything in it. I haven't even started the new game plus yet. Beat the game. I did all the side quests,
I
everything.
think you said you put in 100 hours.
Yeah, probably more, but yeah, definitely at least 100 hours. Just getting a new bow, getting new weapons, getting the equipment to build the new weapons, all that stuff. The voice acting is really good. The performances are great. In addition to Ashley Birch, you have Lance Reddick in there. He's in the first game. He's also in the second game. You have performances by Angela Bassett. She's in the game. You
Queen.
have yeah, you have Carrie Ann Moss. She's in the game.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
those
they
are the
had a
big.
but they had some serious money then.
Oh yeah, they did. I do think the game kind of goes a little bit longer than it should, but that could probably be said for a lot of open world games where they want you to keep going and going.
Mhm.
Um, but for me, it when I asked you before in Ghost of Tsushima if it transported you, I definitely felt like I was transported and I just wanted to kind of be in that world. Not in the same way like people that love Avatar want to go to Pandora, but
Mhm.
it was just a different experience to kind of live this life for a second and just be with Aloy as she's muttering about doing her things, learning in these new characters. And the big thing I liked about the game, especially for Aloy, is Aloy was always right in the first game. Aloy is generally right in the second game, but sometimes she makes some mistakes, and people call her out on it. You didn't. People didn't really try to call her out in the first one, so it's like
Yeah.
she's not. She doesn't. She's not perfect, which I think
Okay.
is good. Um, yeah, yeah. So for me, that would be a game that I really enjoyed during the pandemic times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so for me, I'm this is a weird one because I haven't played it again, but while I was playing it, I loved it and I was trying not to rush through it. But for me, it was Call of Duty, the Modern Warfare reboot. Um, I I personally love.
So the
Go ahead.
reboot, not the remaster.
Yes, the remaster came out in 2016, attached to was it Infinite Call of Duty Infinite? No,
I can't keep
the
up with the Call of Duties. I
so
don't know.
hold on. So Call of Duty the remaster, just the regular remaster, um, came out. Remember, it was a attached to Infinite
It was
Warfare.
a part of another game. Yeah.
Yes, it was Infinite Warfare because that was when Kit Harington was Game of Thrones was going on, and Kit Harington was the hot thing at the time. So he was the bad guy for Infinite
Kit
Warfare.
Harrington was
Yep.
interesting. I thought he was a good guy. Never played it.
Nah, he was a bad guy. He was the leader
Which one was
of
Kevin Spacey in?
that was the one before that. That was Black Ops.
Ah,
No, was that Black Ops? No, Advanced.
it doesn't
Uh,
matter.
either way, because
Shoot
then
him up.
your boy Stabler was in one of the games too. Uh,
Okay.
yeah. So I love Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I own the PS3 versions when they came out. I remember when I got this. I remember because I played Call of Duty, the World War II move, the games, and I loved them. I enjoy like I enjoyed them. I won't say
Yeah.
love them where but I really did enjoy them. And then Modern Warfare came out, and I
And
never
change the
it
game.
changed the game. Like Modern Warfare was like my dad watched me play Modern Warfare. Like my
Okay.
dad will never be like one of those people. Like I don't get Twitch because I'm like Negro. You watch me play Doom and Modern Warfare. Like sat right
Hmm.
next to me. He's like, "Ooh, you know what that is? That's a Skippy." I'm like, it's like, um. So I played the Modern Warfare not for. I did play some of the online with some of the buddies of mine. They're a little older now. They don't play as much video games as we did back in the day. So we did play multiplayer, but then two came out, then three came out, and I like the campaigns themselves were amazing. I love them.
Hmm.
I love Price, um,
Soap,
Ghost,
all of them.
Soap,
Yeah.
Kamarov, Macaron. I loved everybody. I loved it all. So when they said they were rebooting the whole thing, and they were going to basically make it set in today's world, and I was like, "You keep talking." And I was
Hmm.
like, and then I heard Price's voice in the trailer, and I was like, God damn it, I'm in. Like I was Morty from fucking Rick and Morty.
Hmm.
God damn it, you son of a bitch, I'm in. And I was like, and I got it, and I played it, and I was like, oh, war sucks.
Hmm.
It's like, and it just reminded you, like, yeah, this is fun, but it was like, ooh, real people die. But it was, go ahead.
Question for you: when you play military games, because you have military background, do they? And I don't. You may not be able to answer this because you have the military background. Do you feel like they hit you differently because you have military background? Are they more
Sometimes
impactful to you, or?
Sometimes I think because some of the things that happen, like I remember it. It's one of those things that once you've been in, and I don't. Some people are going to take offense to this, but please don't because I want people to understand. Being in the military is like being in prison, in the fact of once no one understands unless they have been there. So it's almost like being a police officer at time. Nobody understands what it's like being a cop unless they've been a cop. We have thousands of movies about being a police officer, but nobody knows what it's like to be a police officer. A lot of people, they say thank you for your service, but nobody understands what it's like being in the service unless you've been in the service. It's different. There's a brotherhood to it. There's a sisterhood. It's one of those things. Like, I remember when we were out to sea, and there would be people on my boat that I literally would want to push off and, man, just not tell anybody, man, overboard, fuck that dude. But when you go to another country,
Like, comment, subscribe. Anytime you say something highly illicit, I'm like, comment, subscribe. There we go.
Whenever I talk about murdering somebody.
Yeah.
But it was one of those
subscribe.
things
Go ahead.
where you're like, yeah, you would really fight this dude. But when you got to another country, and I never forget this, we went to Norway, and you go to another place. Doesn't matter if you don't like that guy. That's your brother. That's family. And you don't let nobody fuck with family. And that's kind of when you watch these games or you play these games, that mindset does come back, that camaraderie, that brotherhood, that sense of purpose does come back. So when I played Call of Duty, and again, I was just in the Navy. Like, I lived on board a ship. I was an engineer. I never saw combat like that. Like, we did training drills. We did, like, the SEALs would play games, like they would board the ship that those dudes always won. Just because,
Sure.
I play with wrenches. These dudes play with goddamn automatic weapons. Of course they're going to win. But it was like, I enjoyed the game because it took me back to that time when I played the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare. That moment, those moments when you heard Price's voice and you enjoyed the game. So, like, the video game actors, man, shout out to them, because the guy who plays Price, whoo, that's a dude. But I enjoyed it. I don't play the multiplayer. I don't care. I'm one of the people who really wishes Call of Duty eventually gets to the point, and I wish, and I know this is revolutionary. They'll never do it. Just sell me the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pay 30, 40, 50. I'll even pay $50 just for the campaign. I don't give a shit about multiplayer. I would play those campaigns. I would. I enjoy them. I go back. I have played Modern Warfare, the entire series from PS3 and now PS4. I've probably played those games. I've gone through them at least 4 times, just the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
At least 4 times. Now, I've played each of those games individually, maybe 5 or 6 times. I enjoyed them. I really did. I really enjoyed Paul. And there are some parts of the game that I was like, "Ooh, that's a lie." Like, that the Russians didn't do that. We did that. There's literally a war crime in the game, and that wasn't on them. That was on us. And it bothers me. It does. It really does bother me. But I did enjoy the game. I really enjoyed the voice actors, the way that the cutscenes work, the heightened. I know a lot of people are like, I never played the campaign. I just played the multiplayer. You're missing out, because they really play like a Michael Bay movie on steroids. Like, it's Top Gun on the ground, and I enjoy it. So for me, it was Modern Warfare. I haven't got the sequel yet. I'm going to wait when it goes on sale for like $30, because it will. And that game is 200 gigs at least. And I'm like, I'm not cleaning anything off of this. I got other things I'm gonna play before I just play a 10-hour campaign and kick some stuff off my PlayStation just to get to this. But I enjoyed it. I really did. It was fun leaving work, being stressed, and coming back thinking I was saving the world.
I was going to bring that up in terms of, did you, in playing these games, whether it was Ghost of Tsushima or whether it was Days Gone or whether it's Modern Warfare, did you find that you were able to decompress from not even whether it was work or just dealing with the pressures of the pandemic life? Did that help?
Yes, it did. It really did. And I think, and that's one of the things, again, speaking about the Video Game Awards, they talked about that. Chris Judge talked about that, in the sense of, and it wasn't just Chris Judge. It was a lot of people when they talk about video games, the work that these people do, these creators, these developers, these programmers, these actors, transporting you to a new world. I the first person out the gate at the Video Game Awards, the first presenter is Al
Don't tell me who it
Pacino.
was. Well, thank you, Leroy. Man,
I, I
can
it's
you?
Al.
I told you I want to see the freaking show.
You can still see it.
Man,
Mm. But I'm getting to something. Al Pacino says that I don't play video games. I watch my grandkids play them. But what he said was, what you do is important, what you bring to the table. And that's what these games did. They transported me to this place, whether it was the Japanese island of Tsushima, or whether I thought I was a British SAS agent, or MI6, or I thought that I was a Marine, or I thought I was, a rebel fighting against the Russian invasion of Afghanistan, or whatever country it was, the fake country they use. Um, he's right, and that's what these games did for me. I'm mentioning these PlayStation games because these are the ones that I've had bought recently since 2019. So, um, but yeah, you're right. I was transported. I was engrossed. I was like, I'd get home from work, take care of whatever I need to take care of, do dishes, laundry, pick up, you know, pack lunches, and then I would sit down and I'd be like, okay, we're gonna rescue these hostages.
hmm
you know?
okay. Um, Another game for me, and I was trying to decide. I had a few, but I'm gonna go with Tunic.
Oh,
Tunic
interesting.
is the game that could. It's a game that's been on the radar for years, or in development for years.
Yeah, it
Let me
just came
look it
out
up for
this year,
you.
right?
Yeah, summer of this year.
Mm-hmm.
It was on Xbox for a while,
It was a Game Pass
exclusive.
exclusive for a while.
Yeah, but you can now play it on PlayStation,
Steam.
I believe.
Yeah, you can play. Well, I saw it on Steam. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's also on PlayStation too
Okay.
now. Publisher was Finji. Designer was Andrew Schuldice. Yeah, I think I've heard the name before. Um, but the thing that really got me about the game is I'm a big sucker for puzzle games. I like the idea of trying to use my brain to really just stretch it and figure out, okay, how does this work? And Tunic is kind of a very light Dark Soul style game or a roguelike game where you are this little fox who wears a green tunic and you are trying to figure out the mysteries of this world that you're on.
And it's not even in
Um,
English, right?
yeah, it's in a
Foreign
totally made
language.
up language. Well,
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's not even it's a completely language that is created just for the game.
Okay.
I believe people said if you get enough of the pages and decipher it, you can learn the language. I don't know if that's true, but that's I've heard that. But one of the cool aspects of the game is there's no instruction booklet, there's nothing. But what happens is you go throughout the world, you find different pages of instruction booklet, almost like you're playing a video game.
Hmm.
And more pages come together and they tell you more things and how you can do things. So you're like, at
Okay.
first, you don't know how you can run, or you don't know how you can swing a sword, or you might not know what items do what. Now, everything is essentially open to you and it will work from the beginning, but you don't know that unless you experiment. So it's kind of a bait and switch because you feel like, oh, I'm never going to be able to get past certain parts of the game because I don't know what works with what. Now, if you just experiment with stuff, it would still work for you. You just wouldn't know because you didn't have that institutional knowledge. But having those pages put together, almost like an old NES booklet. I don't know if you did this, but I used to love to do this. Whenever I get a new game, I would read the book first, cover to cover,
Oh
before I
yeah,
was in
I
the
would
game.
read it too. Well, let me take it back. I would read part of it. My sister would read like as I was playing it.
Yeah,
But
I
sometimes I would
that
just pop it in.
that was always my ritual. Whether it was a new game or used game, I would love to. And I think that's probably part of the reason also why I like physical media too. Just reminds me of having the physical thing and having the instruction booklet.
Hmm.
Um, so that was a very cool concept that Finji Studios did in terms of having you read this manual and learning stuff, because the manual would show you things that you might have already figured out on your own. You're like, oh, okay, that's what this does. Also, it would give you game hints and secrets in the game that you didn't know about until you got the manual together. So it's a very well designed game. I actually haven't even finished it yet. I fell off and started
Ooh,
playing. What was I
bad
playing? I
Michael.
don't know. Yeah,
Bad
basically.
Michael. Bad
Something
Michael.
popped up and I didn't play it. I need to go back to it. And then thinking about it now, the reason I put it on my list is because it had this spark in me of trying new things and trying new ways to move about in a game because you might get stuck. So you're like, let me just push this button. Oh crap, this button did something. And the cool thing is, to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure you unlock things step by step, but some of the things that you may not learn till 4 or 5 hours in the game, you could have done from the beginning if you had just pushed the button, but you never think to do that. So I mean,
Really?
it's a yeah, it's
How hold on.
it's
How did that make you feel? Did you feel dumb? Because I'd have felt dumb. I'm not gonna lie. I
I
would have
did,
felt
yeah,
dumb. I'd have been
I did,
mad.
but at the same, I felt dumb, but at the same time, I was like, oh, that's cool,
Oh,
because it
okay.
would be one thing if I think that's just a genius gameplay design. Uh, Chat, when you guys do watch this video, let me know in the chat if other games have done something like this, where the option has always been there for you. You just don't know because you don't think to do that because you're kind of programmed to play a game a certain way. So I mean, it kind of rewrites your brain a little bit in terms of how you want to play a game, which I think is great. And again, going back to those pages, it really takes you back to those formative years of playing a Sega Genesis game or a Nintendo game or whatever, and like reading that instruction book cover to cover, maybe even writing notes into it, or like, oh, this is gonna, I need this blue key to go to this blue door. I
Mhm.
need this green key to go to this green door. You write those notes in it. Um, Very fun game. That'd be my number two.
Okay. Uh, so sorry, I'm trying to get the demos that I saw from as you're talking.
Oh,
I'm
from the Game
trying.
Awards.
Yeah, and also I went to
That I
look
did
up,
hear about some demos and stuff.
and I went to go look up to see if Tunic was on sale because I know we're in the winter sale, and I it's on my wish list. And I got an alert that says, "Hey, such and such game, Resident Evil 2, is on sale from Steam."
I
So,
think tuning might be a game you and Katie could play together. Like if you're holding the controller and she's like,
mhm.
"Oh, do this type of thing." I think that might work out for you guys.
Well, I'm going to buy her Stray
Okay.
uh, because we watched the trailer for Stray, and she actually
See,
enjoyed it.
that's why you need to have PlayStation Plus. It's free on PlayStation Plus.
Eventually I'm going to get it. I'm probably going to be like, you know, just go drop the money to get it. I forgot, and life got in the way. So my third game. This is a big one for me. Um, because I did enjoy playing it, but it took me a while to. I enjoyed the beginning. It took me a while to come around to what the game was trying to do, and you probably know what it is.
Oh God, burn this channel. Oh, that's not what I thought you were
What you
gonna
thought it was
say.
gonna be?
I thought it was gonna be Death Stranding.
No,
Okay.
so Death Stranding is up there, but I Death Stranding is up there. It'd probably be another honorable mention, but I did not enjoy playing that for a while.
Okay. Okay.
I it punished you,
Okay.
and it was it. I haven't played the Game of the Year edition or the director's cut. I haven't gotten it yet. I will, um, but this got a lot of heat. I understand why I got a lot of heat. I was one of those people who, once I played it, understood why I got a lot of heat,
Hmm.
um, and a lot of hate. Um, if you know me, you know my favorite game of all time is The Last of Us. I was excited that a sequel was coming, part two, as they called it. I have given Naughty Dog probably $300 of my money
Jesus.
just on Last of Us games, and there's only fucking two of them. It's just like when you think
Okay.
about it, there's only two of them. I know I've given them $300 because I know I bought this. I have the original PlayStation 3 version. I have the PlayStation 4 remastered. Um, I bought a digital copy of one of the games. I think it's the PlayStation 4 version. and then I bought a physical copy of it. I can't remember which one, but I have all versions of this game of The Last of Us, except for part one, the PlayStation 5 remake. I haven't, because I'm not paying $70 for it. And you're not going to Nintendo me. I'm willing to pay $30 to $40 for it, but I'm not paying 70. So when it drops, I'm an idiot. I'm a sucker. The mechanics were amazing. The game itself looks amazing. Remember when I told you need to get a 4K TV? This was one of the reasons why. Like the PlayStation 4 games that are upscaled on PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 games, like, holy cow, this is why we have next gen and the next gen consoles, or current gen as they're now.
So question for you.
Yeah.
Well, actually, go finish your thought, and then I'll ask
No,
you.
no, go ahead. No.
So The Last of Us, both part 1 and part 2, are very bleak, dark games.
Yes.
Would you agree with that? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. I find it interesting that you really enjoyed that that would be one game that you really found solace in during the pandemic times.
Because here's the thing, and this is why. This above all else, and the show is coming out in January on HBO Max, because at the core of these games, even though humanity is terrible, we need to be wiped off the face of the earth based on just how we treat each other.
Hold on. Pause. Now go ahead. Go ahead again. Wipe off the humanity. Like, comment, subscribe. Go ahead.
God's wrath should be visited upon us.
Okay.
He said he wouldn't use a flood, the rainbow. But he's got other means. I mean, we're terrible. But at the core of these games, the one thing that kept showing up is one word, and it's hope. It's the idea that through some of the worst experiences that you could face and deal with, there is light at the end of the tunnel, that you are fighting for something. Because it's easy to just give up and die. It is easy just to go through the motions, to just look at your circumstance and say, how can I get out of this? And there's a lot of that in this game. There is a lot of, like, how do you keep going? And in the first game, it's Joel and Ellie trying to basically find a cure for what doomed this entire planet and threw us back to the Stone Age as a society. I'm not gonna spoil The Last of Us, no matter how long it's been out. I've been a dick to Michael throughout this whole stream about spoiling stuff, so I'm not gonna do that for other people out there. I do that to Michael because
great for y'all. bad for me, but okay.
You told me I was pretty. That hurt my feelings.
That says something about you, not about me. Okay.
So, but it's hope. It's the idea that as you're going through this, because don't get me wrong, these games are bleak. You do some stuff in this game where you're just like, ooh.
I haven't played them, but I definitely watched Let's Plays of all the way through. Yes, it gets rough.
Ooh, man. But the gameplay is amazing. Like, it's fluid. So, like, perfect example. I love Star Wars. I so look forward to Jedi Fallen Order. I did not enjoy Fallen Order as much as I thought I would. I just did. The gameplay, to me, they tried to make it Souls-like and tried to make it action adventure, Naughty Dog style. And
they tried to do a lot of stuff, yeah.
And it just didn't work. They threw in Crash Bandicoot slides in there, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, pick a lane, you know. I did, and as much as I love Star Wars, I just didn't enjoy Fallen Order like that. There were a lot of great moments in it, but I was like, this is not what I wanted from a Star Wars game. There is no crying about how the gameplay works in this. You can bitch about the story. You can say Naughty Dog betrayed us, all this other stuff. You can say whatever you want, but you damn sure won't say that this game does not play well. If you die, that's on you. This is you. And I loved it. And at the end of the day, the game is about hope. The game is about redemption, and the game is about forgiveness. And if you can get that message, if you can understand that, that's part of why, like, we want to be transported to these wonderful worlds, these fantastic worlds. Mass Effect, where you have these all these alien races working together, like in a federation, like in Star Trek. You want to go, like, perfect example, near Automata, where you're basically, trying to figure out what happened to the world. Outriders, where you're the last gasp of humanity on a foreign planet, trying to save the species, basically. Yeah, some of these games are kind of bleak, and some of these games, they transport you to this world, but this is a game that you could literally feel yourself living in. Like, this is, if you really break it down, we're 20 years away from this. So, but it was, at the end of the day, the characters made you believe that there was a reason for why they did things. The writing was excellent. The writing was superb. And I will admit,
Neil Druckmann and Company.
I stopped playing this. My wife is tired of me hearing about this goddamn game.
Mm-hmm.
But we go, guess what? We watch it on Sundays. We go watch that show right over there. But the writing behind the game, the characters and their motivations, I believe them. And I
Mm-hmm.
stopped playing it after a certain time. After a certain part of the game, I was upset. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I turned it off. I did not come back to it. It took me weeks, months to come back to it.
I
And I
remember you talking
finally
about that. Yeah.
and I finally did. And as I learned what they were trying to do, and I realized, I was like, I don't think a game has done this before. It,
I
it,
don't think
it
so.
like, it really made me think, like, who has, how, huh? And I was blown away. And at the end of it, and it, there's a, the reason why I use the word hope is because it's so needed and necessary. My favorite Star Wars movie of the last 10, 20 years is Rogue One. When Jen Erso says to the rebellion, when they were like, what do we have? What can we do? And she said, rebellions are built on hope. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's David and Goliath. You believe, you have the hope that you can overcome. Um, I won't spoil. Did you watch I'm watching right now. I'm going through it. Did you watch um Netflix, Lord Morpheus,
I'm on like episode 3 of Sandman.
okay, Sandman?
Yeah.
Hope plays a very big part of it, of one of the episodes. I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's a moment where and hope, and it's like, and that's what this game is about. As bleak and as, don't get me wrong, it has one of the best battle scenes ever. It
Mm-hmm.
rivals anything Call of Duty has done. It rivals anything Mass Effect has done, just
Mm-hmm.
graphically and what you have to do in it. But at the end of the day, the game is about hope and the idea that you can overcome any obstacle, you and how you overcome it is based on you. You can either take that punch, and you can either lay down, or you can get the fuck up, and you can make the best out of a bad situation. And that's what this game is about. And that hope. And that's why I love that game.
Man.
Never thought you'd hear me say that shit, did you?
No, I did. That's not what I'm laughing at. I'm
Oh,
laughing at
okay.
what your number one game is and what my number one game is, just in terms of the tonal difference.
Oh yeah, you're
So
probably gonna
your
have,
game
like,
is Last of Us
you're
Part
probably gonna be
2.
like overcooked or something.
No.
Okay.
But it is Animal Crossing.
I was, it was.
Yeah, Animal Crossing. Um, for the same reasons that you like that, but they did it in a different way.
Mhm.
That game brought me hope because it was such a simple game. There's not really like the biggest conflict you have is whether or not Tom Nook is a selfish asshole who steals all your money. Um, Spoiler alert, he does. And actually, he doesn't
Ti-
steal all your money.
Time out,
He's
time out.
just
For the uninitiated, explain who Nook is.
Tom Nook is he a raccoon, a raccoon or a tanuki? He's probably a tanuki. That would be
What
Tom
the
Nook. That makes sense.
fudge is a tanuki? Is it a type of raccoon or is it the made up thing in the game? Like, is it
No,
a real thing?
Tanuki's a real thing. You don't remember Mario 3? Oh, you didn't play Mario games like that. You got the Tanuki suit?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
wait, is
Yeah.
that's the thing on the box when he's like
Mm,
he's flying and he has the tail and he's got the hat?
yeah, that might be the Tanuki suit. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'm
All
pretty
this
sure.
time, dude.
Video game nerds, y'all come at me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure
All
it's
this
definitely.
time, I thought that was a raccoon suit.
I think. Oh no, hold on. I don't know. There's definitely a Tanuki suit. I don't know if that's what's on the cover or not, but yeah. Anyway, Tom Nook. He is the proprietor of all the Animal Crossing games, and every Animal Crossing game, you end up because the currency in the game is bells. You don't have dollars, you have bells, and he lends you bells to build up this island. But as he lends you bells, you go more and more into debt, and you have to pay him back. So the first, you
Hold on.
know, uh huh.
Why does what you say sound like subprime lending?
I mean, it's not far from the truth. It just has a happy facade on it. Tom Nook is a shark, or Tom Nook is a shark, man. He's
He
ruthless.
literally is a loan shark.
Yeah, I mean, you if you look up memes of Tom Nook, you see a bunch of Tom Nook memes about him like, breaking people's legs and doing whatever just because he's always about the money. Um, I will say this about Tom Nook: he doesn't charge interest, which is nice.
Ooh,
But
okay.
yeah, that's nice. But the game itself
Where's my money, man? Where's
it's
my
a
money?
very simple concept. You're on this island. You build up a house, and you invite other animal creatures to live on your island, and you talk to them, and you do different chores, and you can do very simple island life like planting trees and planting gardens, or planting trees and crops.
You can
Um,
fish in it, right?
yeah, you can fish in it. You can fish. You can also go under sea, deep sea diving to get different sea creatures and stuff. It's a very simple game, kind of in the same style to me as Stardew Valley, which I would have
Mm,
put on here, but I played that. I'm pretty sure I played that before the pandemic, so that's before our time frame. But
okay.
it's a game similar to that, and it's a very stress free game to me. Very relaxing, very charming, and it was nice because I don't know if you followed this a lot, but Animal Crossing like really took off during the pandemic
Yeah, it did.
in a
Do,
in a way that nobody really expected. Like Nintendo didn't even expect it to take off the way it did.
do you know it's
I
funny?
honestly think what's that?
So I don't. Where is it? Oh, it's over there. So Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal were released on the same day,
Same day,
and
yeah.
Animal Crossing massacred
Oh yeah,
Doom as far as like sales. Yes, you're right.
yeah,
And NPR did a video game series. So I listen to NPR on my way to work every day. And I'm trying to remember what show it was, where basically they talked about like what got you through the pandemic. And they talked about Animal Crossing. And they had people on who were either in the industry or reporters that they had. And they talked about Animal Crossing. Like you're definitely right. I've heard about Animal Crossing as far as like the reaches it's had outside
yeah.
of the game.
Like to me, and other people can chime in for this. I feel like the impact of Animal Crossing is similar to the impact that the Wii had on the general gaming population, or when people were like, "Oh, I can play video games. I'll play the Wii. I'll play Wii Sports or whatever."
Mhm.
It reached people in a way that video games don't always do.
Yeah,
Um,
it wasn't so insulary as far as like it reached people like your brother and sister-in-law or your sister and brother-in-law, your
mhm.
mom. It reached people who don't normally play, and it brought them in to the fold. Because correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't the Wii one of the top selling game consoles of all time?
Wii is definitely in the top 10. Yeah,
Yeah,
it might be in the top five. I can't
yeah.
remember the list, but yeah. Um, but in terms of like Animal Crossing specifically for the Switch or whatever, the reach that it had really can't be denied. Like you can look at like the statistical or anecdotal evidence of you know celebrities were talking about this. There was
Hmm.
a lot of different channels where
Demi Lovato, I
Celebrities,
believe, was one of the ones who was playing Animal Crossing.
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, AOC played it,
Yes. Thank you.
yeah,
Took
and
words out of
that
my
was
mouth. You're right.
a big thing about her meeting
Yes.
people in Animal Crossing
Hmm.
and stuff.
And
I want to
talking to
say,
people who like normally would not have been able to talk to a legislature. And it
mhm,
was it's regardless of where you fall on the political side, you're right. The fact that you were able to talk to a legislature and actually interact with them, and it's not some big deal. You'd have to spend all this money to sit down at a dinner.
mhm,
You're totally right about that.
yeah, and then your boy Gary Whitta, the guy who helped co-write Rogue One,
Hmm.
he started his own virtual talk show using the Animal Crossing engine, where
Get
he
the
would enter.
fudge out of here.
Yeah,
Really?
he would use the Animal Crossing engine, and he
Hmm.
made his own character, and he would interview celebrities. Like one time, he interviewed Danny Trejo, but Danny Trejo was an Animal Crossing character. He was an Animal Crossing character, and he had a whole season of that. He did that for like a long time.
Really?
But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so I mean, it's it really hit people in a different way. I think people wanted an escape, and I
Mhm.
think the fact that there really isn't conflict in the game is you get what's the saying? You get in it what you put in it, or you get out
Yes.
what you put in it, or whatever that type of
Yes.
thing. That game is definitely that for sure. Um,
So you're
it
not
was
bludgeoning
a
anybody to death with the rock.
no. I'm trying to think. Is there any fighting in the game at all?
You fight with them fish you got to catch.
Yeah, them fish is rough.
I've seen
Uh,
videos of that. I've seen people like, you
yeah,
know, and then
yeah.
being mad because they're like, I already have this fish.
Oh, Leroy, you don't know the struggles. You want to talk about somebody that was upset?
I've
I
seen I've seen people do that, like the little characters doing this, and then they're like, and then you hear in the back because like they'll have their voice on and they're streaming, and they're like, I hear somebody yell, "Fucking!" It's just
hmm
like,
I was one of those people because it took me a while to complete my museum collection. I got it done, but
oh,
yeah. Um,
that's funny to me.
but I think like the only conflict you might have is getting stung by hornets when the hornets nest fall.
Hmm.
But I mean, it was a simple game, a simple time. I don't know if and when. I mean, Nintendo would be a fool to not make a sequel to that, but Nintendo does their own thing.
Oh,
But
they do.
they supported it for a good 3 years of content, free content.
Yeah.
They didn't no DLC or anything, and I think they finally stopped supporting it maybe the beginning or middle of this year. But
Really?
yeah,
That's weird.
yeah, and it came out 2019,
Yeah.
2020, something like that. And I played it probably daily for at least 2 years straight.
That reminds me of like how I felt about No Man's Sky. So when I
Hmm.
bought when we talked about buying a Switch, and then we talked about I bought a Steam Deck. You got yours first, and then I bought mine, and then mine came like that next week or whatever. The first one of the first games I played was No Man's Sky, and No Man's Sky had that effect on me. This idea that I would just farm resources, like you can play it with no conflict.
Hmm.
Um, and there were times that I would play it, I did not fight anybody. I would just go, I'd farm some resources, I would go take pictures or, you know, you, survey and, zoom in, shoot asteroids, and, I would mine and just sell it off. And so, yeah, I definitely get that. I definitely get why that's popular for some people.
Indeed. So those are my three games in my honorable mention, sir.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's what I wanted this to be. Like we talk about games we just enjoyed playing, that we loved, that we had fun. That may not have been game of the year. Like no, like I remember Last of Us Two winning game of the year, but I didn't play it until after it won. Like I
Hmm.
had like this because here's the thing. This is a funny thing, and I don't know if you remember. I had all of these games came out the same year. All three of these games. And the first one I played was this one,
Hmm.
and I enjoyed it. Like it just really hit me, and I know this one won game of the year, and everybody was like, and I was like, whatever, man. I'm still gonna play it. And then I played it, and I was like, ooh, that's why. And I was like,
Hmm.
but that's what video games were. This idea that we get to escape, but then it taught. You talked about video games taught you stuff. Some of the things, the themes that you talk about, you know, Um, and then you would tell me about games because like I didn't know about the Just Jack collection.
Oh
The like
man,
dude, thanks to you through Overcooked, and we would have game night, and that's something we probably should do eventually. Like get some people together and do a game night.
who would you invite?
Maybe you should do a game night.
I don't know who I would invite. I don't know anybody at that station anymore,
I'm just saying
and
in
no, and
general. Like,
ain't nobody from Charlotte coming down here.
but the Just Jack games, but when we would play with people from the station, and people would have their phones. Like you introduced me to those games, and they were great. Like I just talked to Shelby. Um, when
You
we
don't
had
know the
Shelby,
Jack collection games,
the
the
Jack,
Jack
yes,
box,
the
Jack
Jack
box.
box. I'm sorry, I was calling what is it, Just Jack or
You,
what?
you kept saying just Jack. Yeah,
Oh, sorry, that's Will and Grace. Just Jack.
yeah.
But no, I like those games. I play like we play that with my in-laws.
Hmm.
I turn on the PlayStation. Matter of fact, I need to go download those because they're the holidays are coming.
Hmm.
We play that with my in-laws, and my mother-in-law's like, at first she because she doesn't like to be embarrassed or anything, and I understand. And at first she was kind of like, I don't want to play, and I was like, trust me, you're gonna want to play this, and
Hmm.
she's in it now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's to me what video games should be about. I understand people want to we can video game the idea of fan is short for fanatic. We can be these tribalistic. Elden Ring is better than God of War. Only reason why God of War is winning these because it just came out, and I understand that people think that, but just enjoy the game. Let's enjoy these people's work. We can critique it and say, "Hey, it wasn't as good as A. They could have done better with this." Like right now, I'm playing Callisto Protocol. I am enjoying it. Like the story could be better. I'm still lost. I don't know why this
Hmm.
outbreak happened. I need a little bit of liquid courage to keep playing it because it scares the mess out of me.
Hmm.
Not gonna lie to you, because every time some like bamboo moved, and I was like, "Dog, I will kill you," because bamboo sound like one of these monsters. And so
Like, comment, subscribe for dog killing. There we go. All right.
what is that?
Fantastic.
4 comments, and subscribes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm enjoying it. Like people are like, this game was not as good. And I'm like, man, like I understand, okay, maybe it's not the greatest game ever. But every game isn't going to be the greatest game ever because it may not hit you the way it hit somebody else.
Hmm.
God of War didn't hit me the way it hit you and Avery, friend of the
Hmm.
show, Avery. But it did, like I did enjoy it. But let's be honest, God of the War is basically Lone Wolf and Cub.
Sure.
Same thing with The Last of Us. It's Lone Wolf and Cub. It's an old man with a child trying to survive,
Hmm.
trying to get from point A to point B. That's what The Mandalorian is.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Are you saying all great stories are just Lone Wolf and Cub?
the ones that matter to me.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. That'll do it for this taped edition of Press Play. We'll be live again sometime, but it's the holidays.
Yeah,
You know how it is. People got
we got
stuff
to
going
work.
on.
We
We
got
got
to
to
work.
work.
We
We
got
got
family coming in.
obligations. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we will figure out when we will again be live.
Mhm.
If you are seeing this taped, Leroy, as he has said, has taken to playing Callisto Protocol on Twitch. We kept telling you guys we would be on Twitch. You
I'm
can
there.
find Leroy playing Twitch usually around between midnight and 1 o'clock. I think is when
Mhm.
he's playing.
Yeah.
And he plays like 1 hour increments.
Yeah. I try to do
About
like an hour and a half, an hour,
yeah,
an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on, when I can get home and get situated. Um,
yeah.
it's called Leroy's Bad Decisions. I'm going to change it to because it's going to be called Nightmare Fuel. I'm just going to keep coming up with like phrases that are just, I should not be playing this.
Okay. So be sure to follow Leroy on that on the Twitch with the We Trying Y'all handle. You can also use that handle for Instagram, Twitter, and Hive.
Mhm.
And We Trying, you guys know that one if you're here on YouTube. That's YouTube and Facebook. I think that's it for us. We'll see you later. We out.
Hold on.
Oh,
Before
oh.
you go, ask the people, what's your favorite game? What have you been playing that got you through the pandemic? And it doesn't have to be recent. We just pick recent games because we could go back in the pantheon of games and be like, oh, this game. But we stuck to recent because we just did the video game awards. Tell us what you're playing that you just again, it doesn't have to be the greatest game ever. What do you enjoy playing? What have you been playing? What's gotten you through this? Because again, we're still going through it. So that's it. That's all I got.
All right, we out.